Welcome back in, guys. I am so ready to see this match that is upcoming. Renegades PPL team versus a PML team. The hype unit Paladins minor league team will be going up against our bottom seeded PPL team. It's going to be absolutely amazing game. But of course, make some noise for my boy Bees. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
What's up, everybody?
That's what I like to hear. Now, Bees, I'm super excited for this matchup, not because of just how it ended up going yesterday. I mean, Hype Unit PML have been showing off a lot as this set has been going on, or at least especially after yesterday. How do you feel like it's going to be in this upcoming matchup versus the Renegades?
This is a tough one. We've seen the Renegades go up against the PML team earlier this week, and they kind of faltered against the PML team to a degree. They were very close rounds, and then that PML team's dropped out quite handedly. It's whether this PML team can now show up and just be a little bit stronger, which I personally think they can be. So this should be some very tough games coming up for the Renegades boys, and also some very close games.
Yeah, I'm sure too. I mean, this is going to be definitely a battle for the ages. I mean, once again, we're going to take a look at Hype Unit. And of course, I mean, I am super excited to see these guys play. I mean, these guys have been surprising us with some very top plays. I mean, they've got some amazing players. They've got Payan, they've got Edgem, T-Mac, the Thrower. I'm just going to list all of them because they're an absolutely phenomenal team. I mean, that is literally just how things go. And that is what I'm expecting to see today from them is some super sick type of play.
Yeah, as long as they synergize as well as they have been throughout the rest of their matches, bar their first set, which wasn't the best, but as we've said, as they've progressed through, they've got progressively better throughout the tournaments. I think they've shaken off a little bit of those land nerves, and if they are now ready and rocked to go as they've been like yesterday, how they played, I personally think they could pull through on this one.
Yeah, I do too. But T-Mac, I mean, Kresnik brought it up yesterday. I mean, he knew him for a little bit longer as like that Dombo one trick at one point. But now we've seen him pretty much flex onto all these different types of supports. And he had some amazing games yesterday versus the Hype Unit console league team. I mean, once again, they were eliminated by Kanga, but I would not count these boys out yet, man. This is going to be super sick, especially for the perspective of T-Mac, man. I'm ready to see him flex on all these different supports and really bring his A game for his team.
Yeah, some of the streaks T-Mac has had in this tournament have been absolutely insane. Like, I think there was like a 31 streak yesterday on Ice Mines as well, of all maps. Had this phenomenal streak, and his Gen assaults as well. Not just in this tournament, but like in past tournaments when I've seen T-Mac play. Like, I've even tweeted out about T-Mac before saying this guy is pure MVP on Gen assaults alone for his team. He's a phenomenal player and a phenomenal support player as well.
I mean, for being a minor league team, you definitely cannot sleep on this man. Now, you mentioned good Angelos. Also, I remember this one from yesterday, the good old double kill. Spaces it perfectly and manages to get 2 of them. This is the type of play that you would not necessarily always expect to see from, from a minor league team, but it's always surprising, but it's not an unwelcome surprise. That's all it is I have to say about that.
It's nice to give love to the supports out there as well, They get a bit too much VHS out in the casual games. We got to show the support boys some love.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, once again, dude, this man has been able to flex on so many different types of supports, and of course, that is going to be something, or at least the continued story as things are going to be able to go on. How is he going to be able to fare against somebody like Viral? How is he going to be able to fare against the Renegades? They may be a bottom-seeded PPL team, but you can't sleep on them either. I mean, they still have their good players. You have to be careful.
As I'm saying, I'm not giving this one to either team at the moment. I'm just saying Hype Unit have a good chance, but like if Renegades pick up and play to their top level, that they are like Renegades can beat Na'Vi.
Right.
And if you're talking about a team that can beat Na'Vi, they could beat anyone, and that's just how it is. But yeah, Renegades, Viro as well. One of my boys, Viro. He's also a phenomenal support player as well. It's interesting. I think it's just some things that need to be. I think more communication errors and actual gameplay style errors is what the Renegades have to work on. Not individual play, but actual team play is what's going to pull them through and help them become the winners of this set.
Yeah, I mean, once again, on top of that, I mean, Viral's a very good player, but you can't, shy away from the man in Vocal. You can't shy away from Shadow. They're DPS players. These guys, yesterday in their previous, in their previous games, were able to do so much. Double digits, both of them, throughout the entire set as it was evolving. That is not something that you see always. That is something that is so impressive. Both of them in like the 20s in terms of kills. And Vocal is that type of player that I would be scared of, even if, no matter what team I was.
Yeah.
He can pop off extremely hard, and you have to be careful going up against him too.
Earlier today as well, even in the matches when they were losing like Invocal saved them so hard in so many circumstances. And some of the times where they clutched it and they pulled through for defenses and just surviving out that little bit, you cannot take away from the fact that Invocal was absolutely popping off. The guy's amazing. An annihilation in a PPL level game, like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. A very, very huge big deal. And I mean, you see it right here. His positioning, where it is that he's standing. He knows where it is that he has to be. And being able to hit those shots are not easy, man. I mean, this is a very, very high caliber player. They are even though they are bottom seed, they are in the PPL for a reason. You have performances like this. You have games where they communicate, where they can pop off, and you have to just be like, whoa, what is this it is that we're looking at? I mean, when they beat Na'Vi, I will always remember that day till now. When we saw that, like, in the break room, everyone's like, what's going on? What's happening? I don't know what's going on. But one thing I do know is that the Renegades, when they are here, when they are ready to play, they can pull out their best.
When they show up, they really do show up. And you know, it's easy to say that they're the bottom of the PPL, but somebody has to be the bottom. Right. It's the way it has to be. But this is going to be their opportunity now to show whether they are truly better than the PML below them and whether they still are seated in correct position for a reason, whether they can push up a little bit higher throughout this tournament.
Right, exactly. And it's going to have to be a very hard-fought battle. But Waters Gate, Frozen Guard, these are the map bans, guys. First two maps already gone out of the way. And you got Shadow Desert and Serpent Beach to round things off to make sure this is also not where they will be fighting on. Of course, with those maps gone, though, guys, we got to see where we're going to be heading for Game 1. And it's going to be Splitstone is how we're going to open up the set.
Splitstone is one that we actually see in Renegades kind of push back a little bit harder against SSG earlier. They had really good first point fight. I'd like to see them try and replicate what they've done with SSG in the first point fight, but then obviously try and get a little bit more aggressive than they had done. It did definitely look like they started going back on the back foot on themselves, maybe second guessing themselves a little bit. It'd be nice to see whether they're up against arguably a less strengthy opponent and whether they can now pull out the aggression that they're going to need to defeat Hype Unit in this set.
Bans are coming out quickly. Willow, Makoa, Atlas Strix. Atlas Strix banned on Hype Unit minor league side. And of course we have Willow, Makoa banned on the Renegade side. They are going to lock in this Khan first pick. Of course, Moonchopper will be on that. Bounces between Khan, bounces between Ash. That's going to be something to see. But we start off the draft on Hype Unit minor league side with a extremely strong first two picks. It's Barrack Genos, baby.
Yeah, the Genos Barrack, we spoke about this a lot. Barrack is phenomenal on this map because he's one of the only few tanks that can get a nice amount of DPS onto the high ground while still contesting the point. On top of that, if you give him the Genos buff, Barrack does significant damage. And also, aside from this, you can hide your turrets around corners with Barrack and still receive the healing. So you can leave your turrets on the stone side of the map behind walls where the enemies can't destroy it and still gain extra amounts of sustain just to boost that extra bit of health that Genos doesn't really always give.
Right, and of course you got the Ash to be able to pick something on Hype Unit minor league side as well as that Mave to be able to try and round things off. You've got Payan on that Mave, more than likely Tay on the Ash. You got the Throner on Barrack, and of course T-Mac being on that Genos. Cassie, though, is how the Renegades are going to open things up. Furia as well is how they're going to finish their draft. You got Khan, Evie, Anara, Cassie, Furia. Inflame at anyone's back can be really scary, especially when you're going up against characters like Cassie, like Evie, like Anara, and like Khan.
Yeah, I like the fact they've taken the Cassie here to counter out the Mave ultimates. We did see again with SSG, they had Mave ults before the Cassie ults. This should be a little bit closer. We should be seeing the Cassie ults coming out to counter Mave ults now this time. They also do have the Khan to counter out the Ash ults, and now the Furia for the added aggression, which is what I'm saying. For me personally, that's what I think they need. I really think they need to just, you know, believe in themselves, push forward, have an aggressive playstyle, and just kind of run over Hype the way that almost the SSG was doing to them earlier on today.
Yeah, that's going to be
the
a hard-fought battle.
Banners, run.
Leon, more than likely, that is the last lock that they have so far. I mean, I've heard Sim Salute say this before, and I remember we were asking him something about like the healers, like about Genos. And he was like, well, I mean, Genos can, I mean, you put the Luminary buff on one of the flanks. I mean, on him, he said it feels great. You win pretty much any duel. Do you feel like that's going to give them the edge over the Renegades?
It depends how well the Cassie performs. The Cassie has the potential to burst the Mave, even with the Luminary. As I said, Luminary is quite a slow-ticking heal. Cassie has phenomenal burst, like insta-burst. If she can hit those shots and take the Mave out before she becomes a problem, then the Renegades take it. If not, I think Hype end up taking it afterwards.
Of course, well, I mean, on paper, these guys look great, but we'll have to see in this game who's going to be the victor, at least on the very first one. We're going to throw it down to the casters to take us into it.
Thank you very much, Fawn. And this is truly do or die now. There are 2 slots left in the quarterfinals, 2 matches left here today, starting with Renegades and the Hype Unit minor league team. It's a battle between a team in the Renegades. They have had a hard 2019, but a team that's not ready to give up yet, and a team with so much they want to prove. They want to show that they belong here in the minor league team, and I don't know if either of them are ready to go home yet.
I don't think either of them are willing to. I don't know if we could pull them out of the booth if they do lose. That'll be a challenge in and of itself.
I know.
But as of now, you're starting on a good map for the Renegades. We saw what they were able to do against SSG here earlier, and against a team like Hype Unit, might have a little bit more of a chance of making their strategies come to fruition, but it's going to take a lot, I think, to get things working. And admittedly, I think one of the best bets they have is Shadow back on his Eevee.
Well, that's what they need. You saw in the set today a clear distinction from their set earlier in this week, in that Shadow and Invocal were shut down for a large part throughout that set. You can get these guys in rhythm. Hype Unit are going to have a tall hill to climb. Might start out right here. 2 great targets. Shadow's not able to find the last shot. Does buy some space, though. Not all is lost if you can't finish off that kill. But if you're able to hit one more, things become a lot easier. Playing with fire there. He blinks out. No kills just yet.
Being able to hold on to it. Dethroner trying to get and match up what Hero's been able to put onto the points. 39-30. They've been coming through. And this is actually a really interesting matchup when it comes down to it. I mean, Dethroner hasn't played against Hero for a while, but they are not opposed to each other. Viral, of all people, going to get first blood here. And it's starting out to roll out here for the Renegades.
That's what that Furia brings. A little bit of extra offensive presence, so a good start. Kind of middle, maybe even. Not even so much a start at this point for the Renegades. 72% on the point. Hype Unit looking to fight back in. Dethroner about half health here. He might have to last-ditch rocket boots in. Uses 1 charge of it there. Will get the reset in just a moment, but he uses it there. And now he's got people on all sides. First in flame of the game from Viral is used. Things looking great here for the Renegades. Nobody in room for Hype Unit, and point number 1 on the board for the Renegades.
I think the Cassie, not only just being on Invocal, but being able to go up against the Barracks, probably one of the best calls that you could have. Good at burning down the shield, good at burning down his health thereafter, so making sure Dethroner has to stay on his toes. You also have the trade-off that's going both 2 and 1 for the flanks. Pan, not quite as big as I feel like we've seen the Eevee so far. Shadow's missed some key shots, but he's kept himself afloat in this game. Pan so far hasn't done too much.
Shadow adds a double kill as you mention it. This is a good start to the push now for the Renegades. And you know, so much of the conversation around the Renegades, of course, has been about their DPSs because they bring so much to the table. But if those frontliners of theirs can kind of hold their own against whoever their opponent may be, so you bring up the Hero versus Dethroner, I think you know, Moonchopper and Tay, that is a big battle to watch as well. As of right now, Hero's had a little bit longer of a lifespan.
And it's interesting to think about because, you know, Pan versus Shadow, Dethroner versus Hero, that's happened before this year. I mean, that's a regular season game for them for the first half. And they finally got to kind of find their own. The rest of these guys still trying to figure out what they want to do. Renegades comfortable on land, comfortable on this map. Invocal, though, Tay getting in the backline and getting rid of him, I think goes to showcase how important he's going to be up against not just Moonchopper, but really all of Renegades.
Well, that's what Tay brings as well. You know, a guy really at the top of that off-tank class here in the minor league. He's going to shoulder bash through, assert dominance up, down, get rid of Invocal, which, you know, in our games yesterday and what we've seen out of the Renegades, if you can kill Invocal, that gives you a great start to whatever team fight you may be in. But right now, all it's doing is delaying. He won't have that assert dominance for the last 30 seconds of this push. The Renegades have a little bit to work with as well. Payload moving forward, getting into dangerous zone. Ice Storm goes down, but so does Shadow. He's able to grab 1 for his troubles. T-Mac back on the Genos. Very dangerous champion to have him on. Looking further through time and space. Dome Shield is used to just buy some time.
Just trying to get around this final corner if you can as the Renegades. Looking like a good spot, a great wall to get Dethroner into a bad spot. Forced to use his rocket boots, much like the end of the mid-fight, to just get himself out of dodge. But unfortunately for him, or maybe fortunately, he's actually going to be able to stay alive in this one, get some good healing. Now it's going to be Hype Unit's turn to reply.
They're not able to. Once those frontliners get melted down, things look like they're building up into a fight, but just chipping away at the frontliners. Nobody's left in range to contest that payload, so Hype Unit grabbed themselves a good defense, did spend a little bit. You're not going to have the dome shield immediately ready at the start of this mid-fight, so that could be detrimental one way or the other. And another interesting battle to look at is kind of that the viral T-Mac battle, another kind of engagement we haven't seen. There's so many, I don't want to say similarities, but close matchups between these two teams. T-Mac, so much presence on that Genos, but viral as well. That Furia consistently throughout this season has been one of his strongest.
Really, this is one of those, I think, for both teams, you know, drawing similarities already. Might as well draw the one that they are both emotional teams.
Yeah, that's true.
This is one of the most important maps, I think, of this set, only because a loss here could end up impacting you for Game 2, potentially Game 3, depending on how it goes. They're going to need a little bit more. The Throner right now feeling the brunt of the damage. No big kills just yet, but putting him low starts things off great.
Well, it's not an overstatement to say that this set is the most important of both of these two teams' season. You don't want to go home here. Moonchopper is able to trade out one kill, kind of controlling this back lava side, has an overpower, great area to use it for an execute. He's going to grab Inte, turn around, toss him into the lava. Easy kill there for Moonchopper. So now Renegades can put themselves back onto the point with a good zone here. The Throner backs off, Inflame as well, just to further push down that gas pedal. Things starting to slow down though. Shadow knows there's a barrack right around that corner. Him and Hero combining for a good bit of damage, and they find the Dwarf. That's going to be 90% on the point for the Renegades with a chance to zone and a chance at point number 2.
I think that's a good fight to take if you're Dethroner pre-Inflame, and then once the Inflame comes out, you dodge. You get out. There's no reason to stay around. Unfortunately for him, there wasn't really anywhere to go. Renegades kind of brought it to him. Tried to stop him from doing anything. It's a really good start, though, to be able to get them all off of the objective, stop the payload from moving anywhere at the beginning, maybe find some kills, or at least stall it out. Again, once you're on defense here, you're trying to burn 2.5 minutes down. It's a long push, so a little bit of ease, maybe some stress taken off your back if they haven't gotten anything moving and the payload's still there in the center. But you need a little bit more. That's a good trade.
It's a great trade, especially down there getting to Throner again. The frontline battle continues to go the way of the Renegades, but an assert dominance locks off a lot of the space. As the Renegades look to back off, Edgem starting to heat up maybe a little bit on this Leon. You need to counter out Invocal as best as you can. At least for now, Hype Unit are able to stall out this offensive push from the Renegades. A chance to zone here as well. They're going to look to push out. You always have to be careful. If you lose too much too fast, especially on defense, it puts you at a bit of an odd end.
It leaves you in a very awkward spot just as far as pretty much anything is going to go. The Throner, though, getting into the face of Hero, looking to cause more trouble to himself than he is to Hero, but Renegades still haven't moved that payload. It's almost back where it started. They're finally going to be able to touch it. Normally 2.5 minutes to try and make this thing round all of the corners. They're going to be starting it with about a minute left on the clock. And ults are coming online for Hype Unit. I think try to hold on to as many as you can, see if you can hold them. Pretty much every corner on this map is a choke point, as effectiveness goes, I should say. And so I think it's going to be pretty solid for them to not have to use too many, or if you're going to use them now while you can still recharge them.
They use the Inflame notably for the Renegades, and unfortunately don't find anything for their troubles. Shadow's able to grab one, Moonchopper adds another. So Payload resumes its march forward here. Still a few more choke points, as you point out, to get around. T-Mac, the last one alive, back behind Shadow, who now has 2 in this fight. And this is where things get dangerous. Hype Unit are going to have kind of one more clean 5 respawn. Renegades still with a little bit of time.
They're going to be coming around that last corner right now. Well, Hype Unit, when they respawn, they come open right into the battlefield. It's not looking really good for them. There's going to be a dome shield, but he gets melted anyway.
And that's very defensive from Dethroner, but you point out he doesn't stay alive. Edgem, an important trade out, but up from the high ground. Shadow grabs another. Things looking dire here for Hype Unit. Just a healer and a frontliner, but body blocking out Tay is the rest of the Renegades. And a fight back from a full court press ends in a push. Now they're 1 point away from taking game 1.
Shadow and Invocal, Shadow specifically, starting to look like what we would expect out of him. Coming through, having very solid performances. Edgem, on the other hand, has been kind of clapping back in, I want to say, the right moments, but not for the right amounts of time, right? This comes in just a little after they capture the objective. 45 seconds had passed. And it's a good set of kills, but you need that more consistently. Something to help Dethroner. He's 3-7 right now. Payan needs to turn it around because he's 7-8. Shadow on the other side's 13-5. You got to deal with this Eevee.
Yep.
That's on Edgem. Edgem is the anti-flank in this matchup. He has to do something.
And Moonchopper has gone into Morale Boost 2 on that con. So he's going to use that overpower. We'll get a gauge of maybe how quickly it'll come back up once he uses it. But, you know, if this fight starts to last a little bit longer, he'll have it. Even if he misses one, it'll be up even that much quicker. Through time and space used, through time and space connects, but the teammates are the ones grabbing the kills. The Renegades are going to back off and Flame ready for them if they need it, just to cover their exfil. They are going to get a couple of stuns, and now backing off are the Renegades. They're back to full strength with some ultimates to retake.
Looking to try and find their way back into it. And Vocal taking the high ground.
Oh,
He's
nice
going to get some
shots.
good shots onto Payan as well. Which opens up the door. That's going to be a good ult up to the high ground. I don't agree with it, though. I mean, you're not going to do anything up there. You get pulled out. That's looking like a death for Tay unless things go catastrophic. And Moonchopper gets traded out. Tay stays alive.
Yeah, Moonchopper wasn't able to grab the kill there, and Tay finds the kill. But just a couple more spears from Hero is all that he needs. Now 45 and climbing. Hype unit stalled out at about 85%. Still a scout, still an Ice Storm, but Enlightenment and Midnight. You might just save that scout to counter out that Maeve ultimate as Hype unit look to retake.
They have to figure out their way back in here. Shadow, though, holding up on the high ground. Midnight going to be used. That should allow some touches, but that's a beautiful wall to make the Throner pause.
And nobody was there. The wall blocks them off right at the right time. And they're feeling good down there in the booth. And I got to give it to them. I mean, as you know, conversations starting as the DPSs are for the Renegades, I think the front lines between Hero and Moonchopper had a great game on Splitstone.
I agree. I think everything that went right for the Renegades there showcases their knowledge of the map, why they chose it earlier against SSG. This time, able to kind of bring that and get back under themselves. I think the most monumental thing, though, you got Shadow, who finally is having a solid game. You got Moonchopper having a good game as well. But my mind has to go almost immediately to Hero.
Yeah.
That last wall is more than anything. That feels like a fight with overtime coming. Dethroner is 10 feet away from the objective, maybe. And that wall is just like, cool, rocket boots into this. He's not able to get around in time. And those are those moments where he can showcase why he is such a good frontliner.
Well, it probably catches them off guard, catches us off guard even.
Yeah.
These ultimates start flying, and then suddenly it all fizzles out. I think that's an important win for the Renegades. Brush off that 3-0 from earlier in the day. Get yourself in the win column, 2 wins away from a quarterfinal berth. Let's see if they can do it right after this.
Lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, for the record, for the record, for the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I got to up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. A6 all the hate. I won't get a ball today. Got lost in the ball and A's. I'm flipping the balls, I'm flipping the on record, off record. I still count wins when they got it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record. I still want the act, not the ghost. For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record.
Welcome back in, guys. Renegades are able to take their very first game over Hype Unit, the minor league team. And in this case, it's going to be a matter of if Hype Unit can recognize what went wrong during Splitstone Quarry, because Renegades won very, very convincingly. Bees. I don't know what the Hype Unit minor league have to do to adjust.
Yeah, very handily, I'd say. Even with like a couple of mistakes coming up from the Renegades, like we see in the Khan ult towards the end where he grabs someone, he ends up dying, like same as what happened in their last set, and yet they still managed to get the point here. And I would like to say, I did think they played a little bit more aggressively than they have previously in the day, and I think they've recognized themselves what they need to do to win. I feel like they're definitely going to be feeling confident after that one now. If they can keep this confidence going, if they get the next game, I think it's going to be 3-0. But if they don't get the next one, I think it could go either way if Hype end up getting the next set.
I agree, but I mean, Edgem top damaging throughout the entire game, 104,000, but at the same time, Renegades are the ones that end up taking this over the Hype Unit PML team. But we have Shadow, we have Invoco, both of them still doing extremely well. Shadow, 14, 6, and 8, 4, 5, and 11. For Invoco, 4, 3, and 14 for Hero. Viral, 2, 4, and 16. I mean, all the slash lines are looking great on the Renegades. And actually on the minor league side, too, it's not that bad. The Thorn having a bit of a rough game, but everyone else, I mean, it's looking pretty good still.
Yeah, the differences between the deaths and that are not that vast, which just goes to show how much Renegades were actually getting pushed through without there being deaths or anything. So that must mean that the guys on Hype Units were giving them a lot of space, especially when it comes to capping the point and pushing the objective. They were giving them a lot of space and a lot of time to just adjust and push through in ways that they probably should have been defending a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, once again, you see that it was a 4-1 victory over Hype Unit PML, dude. And I mean, this is just what Renegades need. I mean, and not just to prove it really to themselves, but to prove to everybody else. I mean, like, you know, the Renegades sort of get ragged on a little bit. But of course, once again, they are in the PPL for a specific reason. They are in this league. They are still at the top of their game. And I mean, they're showing it right there. They already have a win over the minor league team, but it's a matter of if they can continue to harness this or if Hype Unit are actually going to try and step it up.
Yeah, it's precisely as you said. Like, although they may be the last team, as long as they're beating the top of the PML team, you know, that just shows that you deserve this place, you deserve this position. And if they take it in a 3-0 fashion as well, I think it really does solidify how good the team actually can be when they play to their best of their abilities.
That's for sure. We're going to have to see, of course, where we're going to be going for Game 2, Map 2. And it's going to be Ice Mines. Okay,
Ice
already
Mines.
starting off on Ice Mines on the second map, trying to slow things down a little bit, I see. Okay, very, very interesting. And I believe that is Hype Unit Minor League's pick that did choose Ice Mines. So they're going to try and slow things down, just try and not necessarily bring it to a halt, but catch their breath and try and find the momentum with a Strixban to open things up.
Hype seem to really enjoy this map. For the last two games, or the last two sets, I should say, sorry, where they've had the opportunity to pick first map, they've always taken it to Ice Mines. And they've done very well at the start of the Ice Mines maps as well. One of them being a total 4-0 stomp in one of the games. Now it seems like they're trying to do the same to Renegades. As I said, they probably want that one back on the board, just to gain momentum back, just to kind of take a little bit away from Renegades. And if they do manage to get this one, I think the set could prolong to a lot more games than just the 3 that would normally be coming out.
I agree with that too. I mean, you got
Warm up
Ash
and follow
and
me
you
in.
got the Bomb King. So there it is. Or at least that's potentially what we're
Don't
seeing.
worry,
And it is going to be the
subjects.
Bomb King. They are
After
going to
a
lock
few
in
good
that
matches,
Octane.
you'll
Give
all
Ash
see it my
once again
way.
to Moon Chopper. You've got the Bomb King as well, ready and available. Hype Unit Minor League. They're hovering the Genos. They're thinking about it. We're definitely taking it into consideration. But once again, what will they try and lock in? Finally, it's going to be the Barrack. They could still take the Genos here. I still don't see anything wrong with doing that either, Bees.
No, I agree. As we talked about, the Genos into the Barrack is a really good combination. If your enemy has a Bomb King as well, it's really not a bad thing to take the Genos, because the Genos Amplified Bomb King is a really scary thing to come up against
You
on
are
Ice
not
Mines.
welcome here.
Further to this, Ash works well with the Genos since she has self-sustained healing as well. If they now take the Barrack and the Genos, I think this is looking a little bit scary now for the boys of Hype.
Yeah.
I don't think the Victor is phenomenal on this map. Victor is really good on this map, especially for the push and the defenses. Victor becomes a very strong character with these long lines of sight, but I'm not sure that it's worth giving away Genos into a Bomb King and a Barrack. That's looking like a scary draft now from Renegades.
Yeah, already. Genos, Barrack, Bomb King, Ash. I mean, they have the control. You've got the presence. You've got the ability to be able to lock out a lot of these little long hallways or these choke points that Hype Unit are going to have to try and fight back against. I mean, they could potentially lock the Drogos here. I mean, what do you see, Beast? What do you see?
It's difficult to say what the last one can be. I think they should really be looking to counter out what Hype is taking. If they go for the Ying here, with the Ying and the Inara, I actually wouldn't be super shocked to see a Grok come out. Grok's going to give them a little bit more sustainability, another really nice point fight, a little bit more direct damage, whereas the Bomb King is obviously more blast, Ash is more blast. So the Bomb King, sorry, the Grok could be really nice just for the extra heals, and then also because of all the deployables that Hype are going to have on their side, the Shock Pulse bounces are going to be really efficient on this map. It's a close quarter map, the Shock Pulse bounce is quite far, and the more damage you can get off those Shock Pulses, the more ults you can get, and that's what makes the Grok amazing. His ultimates on this map charge so fast, that's a lot of sustain, it's a lot of damage, and it also helps Bomb King ult. The extra speed boost that you get from a Grok ult is phenomenal into the Bomb King ult because you can't stop him. He's rolling straight into you. Yeah, I'll hover in the Cassie instead, which is still a viable pick. Really good for bursting out the Victor. for the long-range damage fight, and also giving one of your team at least a little bit of CC immunity, which is going to be good against the Pip ultimates. Because Pip ult chicken, same as we said about the Grok, they charge really fast, and they basically win point fights on this map.
Yeah, you have to be really careful going up against the Pip. That much is for sure. You've got Ying for the sustainability as well. I mean, Illusory Rift's going to play a very, very big role in that. Same thing as Big Game on the opposite side on Renegades. I mean, they've got a good-looking draft, man. I mean, it's hard to say who can really be the winners of this, honestly, just off the draft alone.
This is a tough one, yeah. Personally, I'm gonna swing more towards Renegades. I like the look of their draft in this one. But the Pip, though, the Pip's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a tough one, this one. I don't know on this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think about it too. I mean, the Pips just. They've got their sustainability, dude. I mean, Hype Unit, they have their more defensive draft. I mean, they've got the Ying, they've got the Illusory Rift. They can keep themselves alive. But just at the same time, you've got that aggression that Renegades have. Who will be the ones to be able to take this game on Ice Mines? Will it be the Renegades or Hype Unit?
I'm not sure. It's bounce back time now if you're Hype Unit. Again, I think either way, we mentioned both of these teams emotional, not necessarily in a bad way, but wear their heart on their sleeve. And I think if the Renegades had lost, it would have been a big uphill battle, much the same for Hype Unit. And this is where you need to turn things around in a shorter set, best of 5 instead of 7. Less room for error. A lot of it could come down to this Shadow Bomb King versus this Payan Pip.
I think a lot of it is going to be there. And after listening to Bees through the draft, I think I'd feel more, I guess, strongly about Renegades winning if they had that Grok. I like the way Grok goes here. I think it's good against the Inara and the Ying. But, well, that's in the realm of what ifs, not in the realm of actuality. We'll have to see how Invocal's going to look instead on the Cassie. But Payan, I mean, he's going to have a good game on this map. I can just feel it, right? It's just one of those things. We haven't really gotten to see too much Pip lately. And really, it's only this map nowadays that he comes through. But he is so effective.
Remember back in the PPO and still in the minor league, Pip was a very player-dependent pick, and Payan was absolutely one of the ones who was not afraid to pull that one out. One more time here. Shadow is able to make it around the corner. Enough healing to keep him alive. Rocket Boots back on through for Hero, but Edgem finds the important shots and gets the kill onto the Bomb King. So the Renegades were only able to get about 18%. They lose a couple members of their squad, and now the big, scary zone from Hype Unit is in place.
And in the perfect kind of position. Ying can get just the right line of sight to heal Dethroner, but it's also perfect to you don't have to leave the objective to drop an illusion over into this hallway to make sure that they get healed up.
It's a good skin.
Place it in the right spot. It gets pretty much everywhere up in the window or, well, down by the side. Either way is going to work for him. And they're going to be at 75%. And then that's a good disengage. 75%, yeah, they're getting aggressive. Let's back off until I know it's safe.
Yep. Let's fight where we're comfortable. Hero grabs a kill onto Edgem. Shadow very low off to the side of your screen. Tay walks him down. He gets the trade out. Nobody's able to get the Khan. Khan was so low just a moment ago, and he walks right on through and grabs 2 kills. Maybe make it 3 here with some shots into Invocal. Shoulder Bash is going to knock him back, but still climbing 87%. This feels very dire if you're the Renegades. It's Hero and Moonchopper really against the world here. You may be able to delay and jump right back down onto it, but over time, it's looking like it's going to get reset now by Moonchopper. The rest of the reinforcements may be here, and against all odds, he may be able to stay alive.
Oh, it's going to be Edgem this time around. A good clip from Viral, but it's not going to be able to find the kills. Tay's going to go down as a result. Overtime's ticking down, and the kills are coming up blue.
The Shadow Poppy Bomb's right on through, but at this point, you're dropping the DPSs onto the point to reset. And what a fight from Edgem, and what a fight from the rest of Hype Unit to take that point. 4-1-2 for both Tay and Edgem, doing what they need to do to get their team a point.
Now, I will say, that was a pretty big win for Hype Unit. They had a lot of good control. It would have been a little better with one change, and that was there's that point into Tay's double kill. It looked great. Payan missed his Evil Mojo. Those are going to have to be on point more often than not if he's going to want to keep this game going for themselves. They're going to be able to find kills on the Moonchopper. They might be able to get rid of Hero a lot faster. Those ults will matter. He's at 71% back on it here, and well, looks like it's going to take a little brief hiatus from the game as Renegades figure out where the fight's been going wrong this entire time.
Tay used the overpower. It might be kind of minor here in this instance, but used the overpower, died before his team was able to grab the kill from it. So again, maybe not the most major here, but it's a big tool that's now missing from this push. A minute and a half to charge it up. But as we so often see in this map, the battle will rage right here around the mid area. The Renegades, as long as you don't get clean swept, if the Renegades are able to just trade out a few kills, I think they'll be feeling okay.
I just love when you switch to something like a Nara who has to trudgingly walk through everything that she's ever involved in.
Yeah.
And then Pip just weightless bounces across the screen like it's nothing. It's entertaining, to say the least. Either way,
Yeah.
it's going to put him in a good position. Gets him back to the payload. Pan doesn't seem to be too patient right now. Wants to get aggressive, wants to get some shots off. Try to get this payload rolling smoothly immediately.
Yep.
Since they only have 45 seconds left.
And they're zoning out around this kind of cliff side here. And this is certainly within striking distance if they fight well enough. Losing T-Mac right off the bat is a good win for the Renegades. Bad loss if you're hype unit. Good wall is going to save Pan's life just for a moment. Fighting around that Grumpy Bomb. Ends up getting stunned up right around the corner. Goes Shadow to follow up on the kill. And this is maybe all you need on defense. Just a few kills with 20 seconds left.
Tay trying to make the kind of final hold that he can do. And unfortunately, once you lose Edgem, I feel like you lose, well, your edge in the fight, right? You don't really have anything that's going to slice through Hype Unit here. Or, I'm sorry, the Renegades here. Not able to burn down their shields or their health bars, and it's going to be difficult to get that touch.
And there we go. Renegades are able to tie this game up. An easy defense. Hype Unit did use the Evil Mojo close to the end of that round, as you point out. So that's about 25% charged. It does charge quickly, but it won't be immediately ready. I mean, you're going to have to hope your team is able to withstand maybe that second chance fight. It's a big difference maker there, but right off the bat, they won't have it.
Someone in chat could probably pinpoint it. I don't know when that Evil Mojo was used. I didn't hear it, didn't connect if it did, because nothing changed.
All I know is the cooldown is at 25%.
And that is the biggest problem. There it was right there. I guess maybe it connected on Viral as Tay gets that kill, but Pan gets chased down by Moonchopper before anything else can happen with it. Evil Mojo, it's too big of an ult to go down the drain. It's something that has to start connecting, has to be more impactful, and well, has to charge up at the beginning of this round. 5 ults ready for Renegades. Barrage might be pretty big from Edgem, but other than that, a lot of their big AoE ults aren't going to be as impactful. Maybe pressure even on the T-Mac to get that healing out.
That's a good example of how not getting dismounted is a big advantage. Edgem all the way up to the high ground and is able to start poking out first through time and space, rips on through, gets a little damage onto Tay that hero is able to follow up on. Now everyone from Hype Unit kind of zoned out around this right-hand side here. Moonchopper defensive shoulder bash backwards. The zone is on. I think Hype Unit, the fact that they're able to only lose one and disengage is great for their chances at a retake.
Well, right now, you're going to have to figure out what exactly they want to do in order to retake. They need to regroup, fall back, hang around this corner. Tay is too low to try and peek. They can't even get really that aggressive up into the hall here. It hits 81%. King Bomb's going to be ready, and this is going to be good for zoning. Anyone tries to touch down, you're going to take a stun.
And zone he does. Doesn't really connect for much, but if nothing else, the zone is good enough to grab the Renegades their second point of this game. And now you kind of look at the age-old story of whichever team kind of wins this fight really dictates the way the round will go. For now, pretty dead even. Overpower, no connection. If nothing else, back to about 40% with some good shots. They do end up getting the kill onto Moonchopper. One more overpower does not connect for Tay.
Normally in sets like this, I harp on maybe the off tanks because those are usually where things will be pivotal. Missing something like that if you're Tay is usually monumental. But really, I'm really off-put by Pan's performance in the last 2 games. I mean, this one, he's lucky that that one goes down. He was throwing out an Evil Mojo and died in the process, so it didn't consume his ult. But so many times it's been, this could be monumental, this can game change. And then he misses or uses it in a weird position. It's just not been up for the moments that have mattered. Luckily, he's been doing well outside of it, so it's been kind of stabilizing, maybe equalizing here.
Poor Viral.
Where are you going?
Resnick is happy with the way they played that, although maybe not because Viral is going to go off the edge anyway. So maybe even a lengthier delay, but that's really splitting hairs. And the fight after the fight goes to Hype Unit. So now the mid zone is right back on. Pan finally finding a kill and another one onto Shadow. Does not bode well here. And Gora, I think the moment you said in your gut, Pan is going to have a great game on this Pip at the very beginning.
The hell out of it. I mean, why is your Evil Mojo on cooldown? Like, they had 2 guys here. And I didn't see either of them turn into a chicken. I did not see him. I saw him get a kill, but I did not see it as a result directly of this Evil Mojo. I'm just thinking that these are coming out and weird decisions, and those are the kind of things that are absolutely going to break this set for your team. If you do not clean them up, if they are not there in the pivotal moments more than they are here when you just happen to be looking for a frag, then you really are going to potentially face elimination.
You pick the pip for that ultimate. I mean, obviously he provides a lot of utility outside of that, but the potential of the Evil Mojo carries so much weight, and this will be a good defense from Hype Unit. So the game one more time will be tied up. Quick look at those ultimates. Everything but the Evil Mojo is ready, but
it's at 86.
It is very close to being up, and maybe even jumped closer to 90 with that final shot. So now we've seen successful mid-fight from both teams and a good defense from both teams. This is a game changer because a cap and a push can end this game.
And this is more interesting than anything on this map because of the two teams playing. Both of them have a lot of prowess on ice mines.
Yeah.
So a cap and a push is not out of the question for either side. I think you give Payan the golden opportunity to turn this 8 streak into something bigger. Use that Evil Mojo as it comes up, and I think it becomes a different story for Hype Unit here. Dethroner, contrary to last game, is 9-2-11.
Look at the way that the scales have kind of tipped in that frontline conversation. Dethroner 9-2-11, Tay 5-4-13, Moonchopper down to 2-7, Hero at 5-5. Almost a complete flip from what we saw in our last game, and definitely maybe tells the story of what we've seen here. First round of engagements potentially beginning here as Hero and Dethroner take their spot right back onto the point. Dethroner pushed back through time and space, looking to find one, and he does, and it's on to Payan right as the Evil Mojo came up. Illusory Rift is not going to save you from that one if you're Hype Unit. Now you have to back off. Shadow gets the King Bomb off and grabs a kill. Looked like he might have died in the middle of the animation, but he's able to at least find some value for the rest of his team. And one more time, the Renegades on the zone.
If you're Dethroner, you do exactly what you need to there. Get out, just stay alive. You hover around the right position, should be able to walk forward. You're going to take a little bit of poke, but Edgem's around the corner. Payan's going to be respawning. Tay should be showing up pretty soon here, which is going to allow them to open the space back up. You're going to fight from a 40% deficit, but it's going to work out well for you. Payan, Evil Mojo comes out. Evil Mojo does nothing.
You hear the sound, you don't see any kills. Naturally you do, and it's Payan who ends up going down. Edgem looking to win this engagement with Moonchopper. Overpower connects from Tay. So that's a good ultimate for them, 93%. Are they able to find any more? That's the big question here. Shadow rounding the corner, double kill for the Bomb King, and look at how he's controlling this space. Boppy Bomb forward, make it 4, and the Bomb King is swinging for all 5. Shadow pops off, and Renegades get point number 3.
I mean, that is everything that you need out of your blaster. Essentially, just like the showcase of how to do it wrong from Payan into the how to do it right from Shadow, and that just tied him up. He's 9-9 with those 5 kills. But he is skyrocketed up to 2nd in damage. And if you want to look at it, look at this. Against the Khan, this is a good counter matchup for the Bomb King. Against a Throner, it's a lot of good damage. Edgem can't really get in there. Payan's not having enough of an impact for it. Shadow is in that, again, I call it his Game 5 zone, when Renegades are backs against the wall. This is the I don't want to lose and I refuse to version of the Renegades that we barely get. But when they show up, it's a different game.
Well, on Twitter, he promised he was going to play out of his mind today, and that's a good glimpse at it. And now you worry about momentum if you're Hype Unit. Everything for the Renegades. A big play like that is sometimes all you need to really break things down. And luckily for them, they do end up cleaning up Shadow, who, despite having 5 kills added in that mid-fight, a bit of a slow game outside of it. So Hush, a bit of a slowdown here for Hype Unit, and I think this is perfect for them. You needed to slow this down, and a triple kill from Edgem certainly helps do that.
But you got to get rid of Hero. I like the stagger on him. There's nowhere he can go here that is going to keep him safe. Actually, not true. He can touch the wall, the spawn door, and it'll deal just enough damage to him. The only place he could go, but it's going to be a good stagger to make sure he's not out and about, which should burn another, let's say 15, 20 seconds off the clock for him to get back, get over to the objective. If you're Hype Unit, I mean, you would really like to not have to ult the rest of the round, but you absolutely are going to have to. Renegades will spend anything and everything to convert this here and now. 30 seconds left. Overtime still a viable option for them with the payload's positioning.
Absolutely.
There's a lot on the line here, and Hype Unit, they can't afford to go down 2 maps.
Yeah, Dome Shield. maybe what I look at for Hero. If he's able to clear out enough space there, allow Shadow to move forward. Lots of low health targets here. Are Renegades able to capitalize on it? That's the question. Moonchopper zoning out. No ultimate ready for him. Needed about 3% more, but the rest of the team are finding the kills anyway. Poppy Bomb in from Shadow, but the King Bomb is not going to be enough, but it's moving forward the entire time. Nobody from Hype Unit drops down, and the Renegades sneak it in despite a relatively even fight.
I don't think anything is worse than that feeling of, oh, it's an even fight, don't worry, we're not losing. And then you see the victory screen zooming out to Pan, just slightly off of the payload. Just right behind him is Edgem. Renegades don't even look too happy about it. I mean, they're winning. They're not winning, I think, as well as they want. There's a little bit of a smile from Shadow, finally going to be coming through. So a lot of good from them. Shadow knocking it out of the park with the Bomb King. I, at the beginning of the game was saying, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I would have liked the Grok a little more. You didn't need the Grok. Bomb King did it on his own.
That's hindsight. Hindsight always works out that way. I think, honestly, moving into Game 3, a gut check for both teams. Renegades are one win away from qualifying to the quarterfinals after the 2019 they've had. They need one more win to qualify in towards Saturday. Still some seeding games to play tomorrow, but one win for moving on to High Res Expo quarterfinals. So big matchup here for the Renegades. Let's see if they can do it right after this.
Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Can you feel me?
Well, if it's anything that Hype Unit are feeling, it's definitely the L it was that they just faced on Ice Mines. RNG with the 2-0 over them. I mean, man, oh man. It's going to take some planning. It's going to take some concise play. It's going to take a lot more to at least make sure that Hype Unit don't end up getting 3-0. That's for sure, Bees.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think once they've got the second in the bag, I think personally it's going to be a 3-0 now coming up from Renegades. And I think if you're Hype Unit, you take your game, you get your first point fight, and you gain the first point. You're like, yes, this is it. We've got this now. And then just to have it stripped away from you like that, I think it's going to be, that's demoralizing enough that I don't know if you have enough energy left in the tank to come out fighting for the next game.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, Shadow and Vocal, the two of them again, the healing as well. Props to Viral, but T-Mac still trying to keep his team alive by having, or at least top healing, I should say. 10-11 for Shadow, 2-10 for Moonchopper, but I mean, feels Ash, man. I mean, that's what you typically expect to see with the Ash. Hero, 6-6-7, and Vocal, 8-6-7, 1-6-22. The slash lines are looking good. But Shadow, man, I mean, not only do you come out with a win on Ice Mines, but you end up with a sweet pentakill at that. I mean, props to the man, Shadow, and the Bomb King was playing such a huge role throughout this entire game.
Yeah, I brought it up in the draft. Having that Genos boosted Bomb King is something that you do not want to be facing, and I think Shadow shows exactly why in this clip. Absolutely tearing his way through the Hype Unit PML boys. Unfortunately, this is what kind of, I would say, took the steam out of them, because after this they handily pushed it through as well for the victory.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you definitely want to see if you're on the side of Shadow, for sure. And I mean, being able to pull out a lot of those stops, that BK, once again, such a very, very strong character. And of course, on Ice Mines, being able to hold a lot of those little choke points, a lot of those rooms, it's going to be really important that he has that control, and control they definitely had. I mean, it's I mean, Hype Unit, man. I mean, they have to find something, dude. I mean, it's 2-0. It's looking really, really rough. We're going to have to see where Hype Unit are going to go, though, because this is their map pick once again.
Yep.
It's going to be Jack. They're going to go to Jack this time.
Jag is quite a nice map for them as well. We spoke about this before. There's a lot of diversity that you can use on Jag. There's kind of not one simplistic way to play this map. So at least that kind of gives them the edge in the draft in here now that maybe they can pull out something a little bit sneaky. You know, we see certain teams like Na'Vi using Mutu using Moji on this map. We're seeing the Hype Boys putting out Lex on this map. So maybe they'll go back to their Lex Torvald draft that they used recently, which looked quite strong, but you do have to win fast with that composition.
Yep.
If you're going to take those kind of champions, you have to win that game as fast as possible. Otherwise, once these records start getting online, you're in big trouble.
Well, Khan is going to be the one that hype you to lock in once again, but RNG are dead set, or at least really, really confident in the fact that they are hovering the BK. But of course, they're still thinking about their first pick. It's more likely going to be a frontliner and it's going to be a frontliner and BK potentially, or they can also go for the Genos Bomb King as well. I mean, we saw the terror, the havoc it wreaked last game on Ice Mine. It's a matter of will they choose to go for it again, and they will. It's going to be Genos BK.
Good pick there. Going again, yeah, as you said, the Genos Bomb King, really formidable composition that you can go for. It gives them a lot of control on this map as well. There's a lot of short angles on this map. There's a lot of inside control. So those grumpy bombs from Bomb King are going to help sustain, and also then just damage on the point as well. It's really good for Bomb King on this map. I don't know what hype unit will take up against coming up against this though. I think the best thing they could maybe do, I want to say, is maybe take away all the aggressive tanks away from Renegades. You're going to want to play slightly aggressive into that Bomb King Genos composition. So if the Khan and Ashe is taken from them, they might not have that pressure that they need for Bomb King to do his job.
There you go.
Looks like they're going to probably try and do that to take that away from them.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's what they're hovering. I mean, as you did before, take away those aggressive tanks, make them really, really work for it on the Renegade side. Once again, they got to think, they got to consider what it is that they're doing
In this
as
game,
well.
you win
as also
or you
limiting
die.
Moonsharper's
There is
pool
no
a little
middle
bit. I
ground.
mean, they took away, if they do this, if they go for Khan,
I
Leon,
can get us out of
Ashe,
here alive.
they've now
Stay
taken
close
away,
and
I
follow
mean,
my
Moonsharper's
lead.
tried and true double off tanks. I mean, if Khan was taken, he typically goes Ashe. If Ashe is taken, he goes Khan. If they're both gone, he's going to have to flex on to something else. And I mean, Leon is definitely going to be a good pick for Edgem as well. Barrick is who they're hovering on the Renegade side. What do you think they're going to try and round something out with, Beast?
Barrack definitely a nice pickup here, but the question is going to be whether do they go for the Inara pickup or do they go for the Ruckus pickup. I don't see them going triple DPS. That's not something I think Renegades typically are going to want to flex towards, and so that's quite a risky play as well. If you're already 2-0 up, although you do have the opportunity to drop one map, I don't think you want to give Hype that momentum back. So I don't see them going for the Ruckus. The Xin is a really nice pick. We've seen Xin work quite handily on this map before. He's going to be decent as well, holding off another angle. So you have Bomb King on one side of the map holding one angle, Xin on the other side holding one angle, because the Yomi across the fire section of the map, which is typically like the open side of the map, is so strong.
I mean, that's going to be pretty big for them. I mean, they ran Xin earlier on Jaguar Falls. Looks like RNG want to hit this one up again with the Xin, Drogos, and Io. That is who they are going to finish their draft off with on the Hype Unit Minor League side. And I am liking Hype Unit Minor League side. It is just a matter of how strong is this BK going to be coming in? Like, what do you think here? I mean, you've got sort of the Blaster v Blaster matchup. I mean, you've got the BK, the Drogos, both of them very, very good at locking things down. I would imagine it would be combustible. But tell me what you think about that, Beast. What does that tell you?
The interesting thing for the Drogos, they locked it in really fast, and I totally agree with why they did that. There's not really anything on the side of Renegades that can shut down the Drogos. They're going into the Ruckus now, but the Ruckus tends to have quite a hard matchup into Drogos. It's very easy for Drogos to hit those direct shots onto him, do a lot of damage to him. Once the Drogos has the Wrecker online, the Ruckus is going to find it really difficult to shut down the Drogos. The Xin, again, only has 1 out of 3 shots he can hit a Drogos with Yomi Strike, and then the Bomb King as well. Kind of difficult to hit the Drogos. So it depends on whether the Drogos is as free as Hype are hoping he's going to be, and whether Drogos can get away with as much as he wants. Now, they're going to have a lot of pressure with their 2 tanks because they have Io and Luna for the capture point. So I think they're going to use their aggressive tanks to push out Renegades, then have Drogos floating in the back, just consistently putting pressure and damage onto the Renegades, hoping that they get the free capture with Luna on point.
Yeah, I mean, that is who they're going to round out their draft with, though. At least on the Renegade side, we've got both drafts locked in. Who do you like more, Beast?
Right now, I like Hype's draft more than I like
it a
Renegade's
lot.
draft.
I really like it a lot. I mean, I think that Io is going to be very, very, I mean, we've seen it wreak havoc before earlier. It's a matter of will it wreak havoc now? This is it, guys. Renegades could take it 3-0, or Hype Unit Minor League could finally get some breath in them. Let's find out once we throw it down to the casters.
Well, sometimes all it takes is one, and that's what Hype Unit need right now. And then 2, and then 3. Renegades just 1 win away from qualifying to the quarterfinals. Do they get, cute's not the right word, too creative almost, grabbing that Xin? I feel like it's inconsistent maybe at best. You see some great Xin games, and I will gladly eat my words if this is a phenomenal pick, but is it consistently good enough that you go here with 1 game between you and quarterfinals?
I'm not sold on it, but theoretically they have that cushion of, well, hey, if it doesn't work, we can always try somewhere else, right? They get another map or two to work with. But yeah, no, I don't like it, but I'm going to steal what you said. All you need is 1. You just need 1 good Xin game to make it showcase not only why they keep picking it, but also why it can work on this map. They keep running it through, and this, I mean, he used to be the best pick.
Yeah.
Period. I think a Yomi Xin with Luminary behind him, it's a lot of damage that he's going to be dealing. A lot in the line. Can control one of these lanes on his own. But you have to have something else. And, you know, I mean, immediately getting pressured out by Dethroner isn't exactly your ideal go.
Buy themselves enough space here on Jaguar Falls, it becomes so much more difficult to grab the push. There's a Dragon Punch that was reset to 30% because of the miss from Pan, but Enlightenment as well. They have the brute force they may need to fight back through it, and Vocal is going to toss out the through time and space. No connection there. But a third point here on Jaguar Falls is massive, I think, for the Renegades.
I mean, if they can just hold this for as long as they can, like you said, get up 3-1.
Nice.
They're happy. And Vocal, he's not having a great game on Xin. I'm not sold on him. I'm not thinking, man, let's everybody go start picking Xin now. But maybe I'll not be as upset about it, I guess, in the future from them. They just, it's...
I won't question it as much.
Really this awkward middle ground where it's not doing anything crazy, and there's other champions that I think could fill the same role a little better, but there's also some things in Vocal's doing that can only be done with Xin right now.
Yep.
And those are the ones that have been the most impactful, the most pivotal for Renegades. And this is why this is called a suicide defense, honestly. You're so far ahead, eventually something's going to break. The dam has a crack in it. And finally, the water comes flooding through.
But the respawn's right back there, and you're not worried about it if you're the Renegades. You delayed about 2 minutes off of that timer before a real engagement will happen. Doesn't take that much longer to get a push, though. Especially with Edgem. Edgem is, I think, had a great game on this Leon, keeping his team in it. Poppy Bomb up into the King Bomb. Oh, just slides back, and it ends up finding a few stuns anyway, but not quite as over the top as you wanted. You might be thankful for that, as he's able to stay alive here. Pan with the kill onto Shadow, finds the Bomb King. Edgem as well, picks away a little bit of damage at Viral. Pan knows in Vocals somewhere back behind him. It's looking like 3 kills as Tay adds 1 more.
And that is one of the hardest jumps to make, by the way, with your Poppy Bomb, to be able to kind of fling that one over. It has been impressive from them. It is going to be really solid here. Renegades right now doing anything and everything they can to keep this one rolling.
For everyone jumping right back in, quick power outage on our side. The Renegades have been able to grab a couple more points here, but Hype Unit knocking on the door of their second point throughout this one. Edgem sliding on through. Double kill now for the Leon. Make it 3 for the Leon. And Edgem keeps his team alive. And what a time to join back in on the stream with Hype Unit tying up this game.
Keeping it 2-2, keeping it safe, and keeping it even right now. Pan, again, stepping up to the plate, starting to match things that he's been needing to match for 2 games now. More importantly, and most importantly, is probably the Xin, and Vocal right there has been impactful, to say the least. Again, not anything that makes me think I'm going Xin over Cassie or I'm going Xin over Leon every game, but just enough to sell Xin on this map. A lot of the scenarios he's getting out of or accomplishing, you know, these double kills, it's something only Xin could do in that moment. He's been able to stay alive. This time around, though, he has only been half the story, 12-6. Again, it's 2.0 there, but technically sloppy for Vocal. Edgem on an 11 streak right now. He's the one who's definitely been able to kind of flip his performance switch on.
Starting to bring it, and that's scary for the Renegades. Overpower, connects, Onto Moon Chopper. Likely resulting in a kill. Haven't seen it pop up yet, but there it is. Spite no good. Or it is, but doesn't result in the kill. So Hype Unit one more time, grab a few kills for themselves, make it 4. 5 soon to follow. So now the zone is on, and this game has been flipped on its head from what we saw at the start.
I mean, it is perfectly in character based on a lot of their minor league sets against Sanguine specifically for Hype Unit to push sets to 5 and win them at the end of it. But right now, they need a little bit more coming forward. They get rid of Shadow, but they lose Edgem in the process. They have a 21 streak here for their IO. They're 90% up. They're controlling this objective well.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know if anyone from the Renegades is in range to get a touch, and even if you are, you only have a couple of members left alive. So what a turnaround here from Hype Unit. You go down 2, you're able to fight back and tie it up at 2. Now you're knocking on the door of getting right back in this set. Immortal now from Payan. And the turnaround he's had, Immortal at 14, 8, and 8. That should show you kind of where the flip has been. A rough start, but most of those kills and assists coming at 8 deaths.
And I think this is exactly what they need, right? Edgem getting comfortable, 11 and 4. Payan getting comfortable, 14 and 8. Even if you die in this round, don't take it to heart. Keep that level of comfort and keep confidence in yourself. I mean, these guys have played so hard to get to this point, and if Payan can keep it going, much with either Dragon Punch or like this, a repositioning to get into a good shot, that's what you need from this team.
This could be it. The Renegades getting chipped down, and that might be all she wrote. Payload rolling forward. Hype Unit keep themselves alive one more time in this set. All they need is the zone. Trying to come back out from your base. T-Mac just zoning out. Payload rolls in. Hype Unit stay alive. And Hype Unit grab their first win.
That was just a beautiful turnaround. From beginning to end, from Ice Mines to this, that was what this team needed to stabilize more than anything. It's still going to be game point for Renegades. It's still going to be one from them to get to quarterfinals. But Payan going big here and admittedly doing the one thing. Renegades, while they take a lot of losses, they still don't seem to handle them too well. You start dishing them out, maybe start trying to figure out how to control that, get a little bit of a better draft, and you can absolutely still win 2 more. Only downside is that now Renegades have the map pick. Granted, I will also argue they don't have anywhere near as many maps left that I think that's a Renegades map, and that might be the best news Hype Unit could get all day.
And this is where Renegades, they need to buckle down. You had a 2-0 lead on that map. Hype Unit were able to win 4 points straight to take it over you. You're up 2-1, plenty of room to play with. This is gut check time for the Renegades. Still 1 win away. Let's see if they can round it out in just a sec.
Welcome back, guys. Okay, Hype Unit, it's good to see that you guys still got some. It's good to see that you guys still got some life left in you. That much is for sure, especially with taking their first win against RNG. Once again, sorry for that, guys. Really, really apologize for the streams going down. No matter where it is you're watching from, that affected all of our games. Both Smite and Paladins were down, but luckily you guys were able to tune in and see that Hype Unit were able to take their first game. That's really, really awesome. And once again, Beast, I don't know what Hype Unit have to do, what they were able to find this time around, man, but they need to be able to take that, harness it, and keep moving forward.
I think in that one they definitely had draft advantage. As I said, when
Good
they
point,
draft
yeah.
in there with the Drogos that didn't really have anything to shut the Drogos down. As the game progresses, the Drogos gets those Wreckers online. As I said as well, really easy direct shots onto Ruckus, and he did actually go for Fusillade as well. So Fusillade damage plus a Wrecker onto direct shots on Ruckus really shuts that character down as the game progresses through. And as we see towards the end, the Drogos had such a phenomenally high streak in this game, and no one really was there to just shut him down and take away that damage.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing, though, is that, I mean, you look at Tay, I mean, once again, I mean, he's on a 21 streak, just literally just one more than Payne right there. T-Mac on his 28, but still, once again, Payne, these guys, Hype Unit, they are the writers of this story right now. 3-8-18 for the Throner, 11-4-19 for Edgem. T-Mac is 3-3-31, 14-8-11, 12-7-17. I mean, the slash lives are looking good for them, but the slash lives aren't looking too bad for the Renegades either. But once again, you mentioned it before, Payne running this Fusillade, throwing out these rockets, making sure these direct hits are hurting, and they are hurting very, very prominently right there, man. I mean, it is so, so important. Yeah, no, don't worry. No. We're gonna glaze right past the fact, that Moonchopper may have run in just in the very, very beginning and may have just entered just a little bit, but that's, that's neither here nor there, Beast. That's understandable.
Just how fast he just gets obliterated by these shots from Ruckus. Like, that is a tank.
Yeah.
That we're looking at right now. And with those direct shots from Fusillade Ruckus, it's just really... What is Streak doing? Oh, this is a little bit earlier in the match.
Yeah, A-Streak.
A-Streak gets far higher than this the later the game goes on. So there's definitely nobody to shut him down. As I said, the Xin can only hit him every third shot. So it's very hard for them to stop a Drogos doing pretty much whatever he wants to do. And we see as these clips continue, it was very good performance.
Yeah, I mean, it was an extremely good performance from him, and hopefully they can keep this performance going or at least try and maneuver around what maybe had them in that slump these first two games, because we're entering into a realm of possibilities now. What looked like Renegades win at first overall, a 3-0. Now we're looking at a situation where, okay, it's 2-1. Can Hype Unit make this sweep back? What will they be able to do? What can they bring out? And you mentioned the draft. What do you think they might have to do for this next draft that's coming in? Are there certain characters you might want to try to get rid of? Like, you feel like it's the BK? Like, what do you not want them to have?
I'm not sure what I don't think it was necessarily what they had. I think it was just as they were going through the draft that Renegades kind of maybe didn't perceive or think about the Drogos coming through and having that in their mind when they took the Jhin. So they kind of just got that free pick. And if they allow them to keep getting these random free picks, then I could see the Hype Boys coming back quite strong. And I think if they lose this game again now, if it goes to 2-2, I don't know whether Renegades have it in them then to come back to fight as hard as they need to win this set.
Yeah, that would be something, man. I mean, like, for it to be a 2-2, Hype Unit Minor League actually end up making this a tie, and then if they can even do it, if they take it over Hype Unit Minor League, dude. I mean, it's so many things that can play a factor here, but they actually are getting rid of the Cassie, Atlas, Makoa, Willow. Khan has been locked in the first for the Renegades. What does that Cassie bet tell you? Are they going for, like, I mean, well, for one thing, they could be potentially looking for the Barry pick here. I mean, what does this tell you? Well, what are they trying to look for with this Cassie? Why Cassie?
Maybe they're going to try and go for the Ruckus. I think maybe they know that they're giving away the Khan to Renegades. Khan is definitely going to be taken on the board quite early. Maybe they're thinking themselves that Cassie is such a potential shutdown for the Ruckus. Maybe they want a Drogos Ruckus at some point themselves, because Drogos is phenomenal on this map. He can hold so many different angles on this map. They're instead going for, looks like the Eevee and the Strix. This gives them a lot of pressure with the Eevee to flank from different places. And then Strix on this map is really good. He can hold two different angles, normally from either from fire or closer towards stairs on the keep side. And Strix in general is just at the moment, it's just such a strong character. He has so much burst potential. Now there's only one flank that they can really take into him now, which is the Mave. And I don't think the Mave is as good as the Eevee into the Strix. Mave's a little bit more predictable than Eevee, a little bit easier to shoot. So the Strix right now is going to look really strong for the Hype boys.
Well, I mean, they've got Khan, they've got Barrick, they've got Genos, Barrick, Genos together once again in harmony, followed by that Khan first pick that RNG had. But I mean, that's just it so far. You know, Hype Unit side, of course, they have plenty of time to think about who they want to try locking in, what they want to try and go for. It's going to be the Eevee, it's going to be the Strix, it's hovering the Ashe, and it's going to be hovering the Anara. That's what we're looking at right now. We've got a pretty strong frontliner. Is this a Ying sort of composite? Like what is it? Like why? Like Anara, Ashe. I mean, like you've got the Damba as well as a possibility, but is this potentially Ying? I don't know why Ying's standing out to me right now.
Ying is good for Anara. Ying does phenomenal, really good heals for the Anara. You can also just leave her with some illusions and then go heal the rest of your team. So it would potentially work really well. The Eevee ult as well is really nice. You could also potentially see a Furia for the aggression. So you get the Furia and then the Strix gets one tag. That's the freest kill ever for the Eevee, or even the Ashe to just dash in. They have quite a nice aggressive playstyle here with the Eevee and Ashe, and then just the backline damage from the Strix. Renegade's definitely going to have to pick up the Mave here. They're going to need something to shut down this Strix, which I think the Mave is, as I said, Eevee is definitely the better choice, but obviously it's taken by the enemy team. So I think it's definitely the best choice for them right now. Lian as well is a nice pickup. Lian is always just a safe pickup as well. You really can't go wrong with Lian on your team.
That's true. I mean, Leon, Mave, both of them already locked in and finishing off the draft for RNG. Hype Unit, they've got their hero left and remaining. I mean, we could see the Maldon, we could see the Ying. I brought up the Ying, but it will be Io once again. It worked for them before. It can very, very well work for them again. It's just a matter of how is this gonna go, man. I mean, I like the Io. I do like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Io's just such a strong pick at the moment. She changes the meta so dramatically. Having that deployable that can capture the point, it basically almost turns your team into a 6v5. So long as you use the IO effectively to capture the point and you're taking it off the... What a lot of lower tier players, I would say, that they do is they expect to leave the dog on the point and just let it do its thing. But you need to be able to be smart enough to take it off when it needs to be taken off, so you have a smaller cooldown on it. You don't want it to get destroyed. Make sure you're healing it up as well. You do need to treat it like another player sometimes, and if you do that correctly, you do make yourself almost, as I said, into a 6v5 team, and then they use that aggression from the player advantage. Such a phenomenally strong composition you can use.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important, especially with the IO last pick, man. I mean, this could be it. Hype Unit could tie it up. Or Renegades could sweep out the rug from under them. Let's find out.
Let's find out if the Renegades can do it here. They go back to more traditional picks for themselves this time. But I was very nervous the moment that Hype Unit locked in that Eevee and that Strix, both on Pan and for Edgem. Those are two very scary DPSs to have to go up against if you're the Renegades.
I think they're scary DPSs to go up against, period. Then you add in this set, when you see who's playing them, it's going to be a lot. Especially with a nice Goddess Blessing right behind them from the IO. Keep them going a little bit longer, I think, in a lot of these engagements. No one to really contest the Strix. I mean, you have the Leon. We were both kind of hoping maybe for a Victor to be able to come through. Surprised and not surprised to see it be the Leon. That was
way in the
Shadow
back. Shadow all the way
Moonchopper
around. Couldn't quite catch it. Somebody definitely way behind the team here. Edgem with the first kill, Shadow with the second, but first for the Renegades. 1-for-1 trade. Edgem with another one on the Strix. That's the power this champion brings. That sudden burst ability might make it 3. Misses the flare, but grabs some good chunk damage. Hero's able to get sustained. Shadow, though, rejoins the fight and has a few kills for himself as well. Hype Unit were able to stall out at 69% on the point. Shadow getting dangerously low there. Payan finally finishes off the Mave, but Renegades, they control this mid.
Payan, after a good Drogo's game, I think can kind of coast into this Eevee. It's going to be a lot different in terms of style, but I think he's going to be able to kind of apply that presence pretty well. Looking for the damage. Just 69% here for Hype Unit. Renegades looking to try and match that up right now as Hero takes control of the objective. But the fight feels like a Hype Unit fight right now. It's definitely in their control. They're slowly zoning it away, at least out of keep. We'll have to see if they can keep that control as it goes towards the objective.
You can feel the pressure just kind of mounting for Hype Unit here. They just need one good engagement. And Vocal poked out again. That Leon has to duck back around the side corner. Shadow deep in the back line finds the kill onto Payan. And now the off-tank battle rages. But backing off, I think, smartly here is Moonchopper. Overtime begins. Shadow with another kill onto Edgem. Flashbang used. Flashbang, not enough value there. 2 kills for Shadow, looking for 3, and he's going to find it. And the Renegades are going to take point number 1.
Yeah, this is, well, a classic story for Renegades, right? Shadow doesn't want to lose, and so Shadow is going to do anything and everything in his power. He is in a different zone, and it's moments like that, you know, you see this Maeve, maybe it is, maybe it isn't what you want to see out of it. But so far, he has been hitting hard. The problem I have is the consistency. Can he do that next round? Can he do it the round after that? If things go long, how many times are we going to see Shadow get a triple kill? How many times is that long flank route at the beginning going to work against Hype Unit? Adaptation is the name of the game. And I think Hype Unit have enough in their wheelhouse to maybe deal with it as time goes on.
This is an important, I think, engagement back and forth. They're spending a lot just to try to get back to that payload here. Assert dominance up, down from Hype Unit. Dome Shield used as well. Shadow poked back out of the engagement range. Just needs a few more daggers here. Lots of great targets for him to dive on top of. Good wall from Dethroner is going to keep him from finishing the kill onto T-Mac around the corner. And Vocal finds the shots. Dash forward as Payan is able to escape. But the Renegades are able to win that fight. And Vocal now doing the double kill thing. And the payload moves forward one more time.
They come through. A lot of good credits still on board here for Renegades. Dying, not the end of the world. If you're viral or hero, you go back, spend some big money, come back into this fight a little bit stronger. You got a minute, so you do have a little bit of time to spare as well. But of course, they'd rather keep the Undying, the streak alive for themselves. As I think a lot of pressure, a lot of good play from Edgem so far on this Strix.
Yep.
But
when he's not getting dove by Shadow.
Yeah, it's tamed up a little bit, right? Like before he was in their face getting aggressive. Now he's like, all right, I'm going to stay near the base door, guys. I don't want to get too aggressive out here. It might be deadly out there.
It is deadly if Shadow is kind of free moving. Dethroner drops down the seismic crash, but that's not going to lock up Moonchopper, who had the overpower, and that one's good for a kill. Double kill now for the Khan as they round the corner. So many low health bars on Hype Unit. This payload's inching in. Edgem's going to have to drop down into the stealth just to delay maybe a little bit. Once they see some numbers, Void Grip connects. Payload in. And one more time, the Renegades go up 2-0.
And I feel like it's a little bit of a meme, mainly because Moonchopper, he's very excellent at Khan. And then he kind of falls off from Khan to Ashe. Then it falls off even further kind of down the list you go for him. But you first pick Khan, you give up the EV Strix, and it seems like, man, this might not be too good. It still might not, but I think him having Khan right now is a great stabilization point for Renegades. Keeping them alive in this allows them to stay aggressive. Kind of opened up the door for Shadow to come around and do this. And I mean, normally in Vocal's the guy we're talking about painting a target on his back, but Shadow's 10-2-1. He is the guy. You get rid of him early on, you make your life a lot easier if you're Hype Unit.
I don't think we can, overstate what Viral has done as well. He is on a 12 streak, 0-1-12. He's died and then hasn't died since, adding 12 assists. What a play from Shadow. Bounces back through that Ice Storm once he gets out of the damage range and is able to trade out a kill with Payan there. Flashbang flies through time and space, does the same, just misses the Strix. You can see Edgem's silhouette in the background. 42% in climbing now for the Renegades. Lots of ultimates used, only Enlightenment ready. Assert dominance as soon as well. As Tay finds it, goes up, down, and locks up one.
At least trying to do anything and everything he can to control Hero. You get rid of Hero, it doesn't matter what Shadow can do. It makes it a lot easier for you. But Ashe just showcased right there. Great at dealing with Maeve. You don't even have to be aiming for her because you have this AoE. You can trace her very easily. We've seen that throughout the years. Specifically, I believe, the Chinese team, the 2018 Worlds where Na'Vi won. They were picking this. They were shutting down Maeve during that tournament because of it, and it kind of became more prominent based on their level of play.
They stall out at 99%. Edgem finding the first kill as well. That's very important. Dome Shield used by Hero, so that's a stall out ultimate now. Can you find any kills? Viral says yes, but he immediately dies. Enlightenment slides through, finds a little bit of damage, but no kills yet for Invocal. Dethroner rounds the corner, but in the meantime, Hero's winning the fight on the point. T-Mac goes down, and now it's 72 and climbing for the Renegades. Dethroner back around the corner, trying to extend his life just a little bit. Seismic Crash looking to find one. Does end up stunning up Moonchopper, but 93% is where the Renegades are stunned out now, or stalled out now, rather. 99%. Overtime begins. Hype Unit not in range. Point number 3 to the Renegades, 1 point away from the quarterfinals.
And honestly, this looks like something to seal the deal. Shadow is just off the chain right now. No one has him leashed down. No one's able to deal with him. And Invocal started stepping up to match that while they've been getting aggressive. Moonchopper as well. I want to take nothing away from him. He is having one of the best games I think I have seen him have. And if he can keep this level of performance up with the way that Pan's kind of getting caught out, much like that, it's definitely looking like Renegades can close this out here and now. A lot has to change for Hype Unit, otherwise they're going home.
If you're Hype Unit, now's the time, because there is no more time after this one. The Renegades, they have to feel it. You know, nerves are high in that booth right now after the season they've had, being one capture away. Honestly, at this point, doesn't matter how bad of a season you've had because you're at the same spot as a few of the other Premier League teams if you're able to win this one. So just 1 point away. Moonchopper has an overpower. Could be big. He might save that for the assert dominance that Tay is going to have to smartly use at the right time. Payan trying to keep his team in it as he's done at least once so far in this set. And what a road to this point Hype Unit have had as well. Vocal just poked out. Big shot by Edgem to keep the defense strong.
And right now, Edgem is kind of the one that needs to maybe pick up some of the slack that's coming down. Pan hasn't been having the best game. This Strix needs to be blowing things out of the water because of how much he gets banned. And I mean, I need a lasting performance. Just as an example, when I saw Strix's player model, you know what I thought? I didn't think Strix, I thought Ricotta. I almost said Edgem playing Ricotta instead of Edgem playing Strix. That's the kind of performance you need, something that embodies the champion.
His long-range sightlines is where he'll have to get it done. Tense moments here. Neither team wanting to overcommit. Pan hitting the ice block. Could be the first kill that tumbles this one out of control, but he's able to stay alive. Battle shout as well. Edgem being poked down. Hero finds the kill onto the Strix. Pan as well is able to trade out one. Ice Storm goes down. Is Shadow able to survive? Not for the moment, but he does. He turns around the damage, finds the kill. Hero drops down the Dome Shield. This could be the moment for the Renegades. Void Grip up onto Tay. Shadow with that last kill. Onto Payan through time and space is not going to connect. Tay still alive. Edgem back from the respawn, grabs one kill onto Shadow. Edgem dancing around in stealth is able to turn it around and double kill, but he falls as Moonchopper gets a double kill for himself. 3 kills for the Khan. Hero moves it in. The Renegades, they're going to the quarterfinals.
Doing everything in their power to keep that alive. It's a little shaky there in game number 3, but they're going to be moving forward and facing some, well, adversaries that they have faced plenty of times before, whoever they want. They, unfortunately, for Hype Unit fans, end their run here. You could almost taste it, and you can see the disappointment in their face.
Yep.
But Renegades, I think, more than excited to be able to stay afloat as of right now.
This has got to be a relief for the Renegades, guys.
Yeah.
Again, I said it towards the end of that game after the 2019 that these guys have had, only winning a few games in the PPL. Being able to fight your way through this week, you drop down to the losers bracket, you're able to fight through Hype Unit, arguably the best minor league team here. And you end up in the same spot as all of the other Premier League teams, still won in the Knights. That still have to overcome Flashpoint, who have had a great story as well. Now you're fighting for seeding tomorrow, but if nothing else, they've found themselves in the knockout stage.
I mean, there's literally no team that Renegades can choose out of that. Actually, honestly, 4th seed might be the best because if I'm looking at their track record, they beat Na'Vi the most out of the other 4, so that might be the best bet for them. But a lot of pressure, I think, that is going to be taken off their shoulders for a few days. Going into Friday specifically, that's when things are going to maybe ramp up for them. They have pretty much some seeding games, but then one best of 7 between them and DreamHack.
That's right. Ooh, you gave me chills there, Gore. What a performance from Renegades. They grab the 3-1 win. They grab a berth in the quarterfinals. Desk, how you guys feeling?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, Hype Unit, unfortunately, do end up going down 3-1. I mean, it is unfortunate for them, but RNG, once again, these guys are not in the PPL without reason. They are showing their stuff, and they are showing it super effectively, which is why I'm so glad they actually won a 3-1.
Specifically in that last game, you just feel like I said I don't know if they have it left in the tank, and they proved me certainly wrong. They lost that one game, and they said, you know what, we're not having this. Straight back in for the 4-0 smackdown. I'm really proud of the boys of Renegades, and I'm glad they're moving forward.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, at first, they lost the last game. It's like, okay, it's pretty cute. You know, you got your IO. You guys were actually able to win your little game right there. And then now they were able to actually close it out how they needed to. We're going to take a look at the post-game stats for more of the story here. And we see it right there. I mean, in Vocal, Shadow, the two of them, despite all that, 53,000 damage for Shadow, 83,000 damage for Invocal. Literally top damaging at that point. 58,000 for Hero. I mean, the damage is all looking good. The healing more than T-Mac. The slash lines on the Hype Unit PML team were looking a little bit rough. But Shadow, man, I mean, 4, 7, and 2. I mean, we've talked about him before, but I feel like it is almost impossible not to talk about him again this game.
He did so good. And Vocal was definitely dropping out the damage, but Shadow was picking them kills up. Boy, 14 kills is just such a nice scoreline for what was a really fast game.
It was.
You know, you might look at 14 and think that's not a whole lot, but considering the fact that it was a quite tidy 4-0 sweep, that was a lot of kills for them coming out now.
It was. And also shout outs to Moonshopper too for being able to pick up the kills that he was and being in the right spot at the right time, positioning really well as things went on too. And I mean, here we go. You have the overpower, you throw him off the side. I mean, you just find your team with that opening. Even a nice little triple kill cleanup at the end for him too. So I mean, shout outs to him and the rest of Renegades as well.
Really nice plays as well. There was one point at the end there as well, though, where Edgem got away with 1 HP and got the double kill. We were just like, ooh, Edgem, spicy, baby. Unfortunately, not quite enough for the Hype Boys, though, but shout out to him as well. Phenomenal plays as well.
Right, yeah, once again. I mean, it was looking kind of like a little bit surprising because we both were back here and we just come back and we just see Edgem. It was like double kill. I'm like, oh, okay. But unfortunately, they weren't able to actually close that out. But still, I mean, once again, you have the Renegades, you have these people that can sort of be the talk of the town. I mean, they pull out huge wins like Na'Vi, and then once again, you see them lose pretty often. But at the same time, it is literally no. It is no statement. It is nothing to be surprised about the fact that while this team is in the PPL, how they do as well as they do, and they can end up going toe-to-toe or really just above and beyond a minor league team, console team, no matter who it is. Once again, they're in the PPL for a reason, guys.
Specifically when you look at the minor league team that was basically undefeated.
Right,
And then if you're going to be able to beat them quite handily in the 3-1 with a 4-0 nice finisher, I think there's not really much left to say anymore. Like, those boys deserve their place. They're a good team. They're just in a tough league.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's all it is.
That's all it is, man. It's just they are in an extremely tough league fighting against the best of the best players. I'm vouching for them a little bit, but at the same time, Hype Unit, once again, they were undefeated. That was not going to be an easy match to be able to fight against, and they still were able to do that, still able to climb up to the top and exceed expectations for what some people may have had for the Renegades. Once again, shout out to them. They did really, really good.
They did. I'm proud of my boys.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of them, too. It's a matter of how are they going to be able to proceed from this point moving forward, right? It was a good game today. It was 3-1, perfect set for them. But moving forward, it's not going to be easy, man. Even right after this game, we've got, like, Flashpoint versus Pittsburgh Knights. Flashpoint's got a lot to live up to, being one of the only remaining console teams left as well. Yeah,
especially coming up against the Knights as well. The Knights, they're a tough team. Whether they're going to be able to pull that out against Knights as the same as they did against All Business, I'm probably going to have to lean a little bit towards the no side. All Business, I'm going to be honest, did not have a fantastic game that day, nor did they have good drafts either. So it was kind of both sides of the coins that could go wrong for All Business went wrong that day. And I'm not taking anything away from the Hype Unit boys. Absolutely phenomenal games from them, but it was the perfect time and the perfect opportunity for them to show up, and I don't think Knights are going to give them that opportunity.
Right, exactly. Once again, you're going up against the Pittsburgh Knights. You guys have to be afraid. But, of course, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We're going to throw it right down to the interview with the winners with Viral and Vocal.
Well, guys, you are now going to the quarterfinals, so congratulations first and foremost.
Thank you.
And I guess the easiest question for me is the hiccup. Jaguar Falls, I want to know maybe what went wrong on that map that you're maybe looking to clean up going forward.
We need to just improve our Jaguar Falls. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not our best map. It's really not
the greatest.
I'm curious, after the season you guys have had up and down, what does it mean? Still placement games to happen tomorrow. What does it mean to you guys to have a berth in the knockout rounds in the quarterfinals?
It feels amazing to qualify.
Yeah,
honestly.
It feels really good. Yeah, so I honestly just want to keep on playing.
Yeah.
Not out of it yet.
I'm sure, after great performances, honestly, just all around from the team, but the one that I think stood out the most, normally in Vocal, we're always talking about your slash line, everything that's going well for you. Shadow, for this set, was just going insane. When you put him on Bomb King, was that like just intuition? Like you're like, yeah, this is going to work out well for us?
Yeah, this man popped off. He's insane at Bomb King.
literally right after SSG, we're just like, you know what, we should just start playing Toilet Comfort picks because we put Shadow on like what Xin, and like Shadow, we haven't even put Shadow on Xin and Scrims like ever. So it's like, we're just like, you know what, let's give Shadow BK, and I mean it worked out.
And
Shadow popped off.
I mean, that's been a weird thing. Like, you're the only team right now that seems to be picking Zen. Where is he coming from? Like, does he have a place in the meta, or are you just kind of trying him out, getting a feel for him?
I mean, he's really just good on Jaguar Falls. That's like the biggest map that we're picking him on. But
well, as long as we see maybe the tightening up on Jaguar Falls, as you guys have put it, and maybe Shadow just keep on being Bomb King as much as he has.
And pops
it's
off.
looking like it's a good future for you guys. Tomorrow you'll be playing for seeding, but today you have qualified, and that's all that really matters. You win once again. Congratulations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.